For all the conversation about NASCAR's new aero package and how it's changing the racing at intermediate tracks, we haven't really stepped back to consider how the super speedway races might be changed. Brad Keselowski's got some pretty interesting thoughts about that. How's it going, you guys? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. Kind of a quick episode here today. I saw something yesterday that piqued my interest, and I wanted to make a video and share it with you guys and hear y'all's feedback on this topic. Brad Keselowski gave some interesting predictions as to what we can expect at Talladega in a few weeks, but we'll get to that in a moment. To start with, I want to start with more television ratings, because the good news just keeps on coming for NASCAR. Adam Stern, as per usual, every Monday, he's reporting on TV ratings. Overnight TV ratings for this weekend's race at ISM Raceway, up 4% when compared to last year. So another ratings win, second week in a row. This is the third race of the four this season that we've actually seen an overnight ratings increase. Now later in this week when we get the full ratings, we'll know for sure how much the ratings increased by, but overnight ratings with a 4% increase is still a good deal for NASCAR. So the first few races of the Cup Series season have looked pretty good as far as TV ratings are concerned, but this ISM Raceway one might be the most significant increase in my opinion. Daytona 500 stayed about the same, because it was just Daytona 500, nothing really different from last year to this year. Same with Atlanta. I mean, we had the new aero package, but it wasn't really the full version of the new aero package. So Daytona, Atlanta, their ratings both stayed about the same compared to last year, and that's because there really wasn't anything that new for fans to look forward to. Last week at Las Vegas, we saw an 8% ratings increase, a huge jump, and I tend to think that that was mainly because it was the premiere of the new intermediate aero package with lower horsepower, higher downforce, the thing that people have been talking about, debating for months and months. That was the first true debut of it, so naturally I kind of expected a small ratings increase. 8% was pretty significant. But here we come to ISM Raceway. We're sure we still have, the higher downforce package, but the racing, I don't think anyone expected the racing to look that different this year at ISM Raceway, and ultimately that's basically it. It looked kind of like ISM of, the past 5, 10, 20 years. There really wasn't any significant extra hype behind this ISM race. I mean, maybe people are just excited to see Kyle Busch get closer to 200 wins, but I doubt that. So the fact that ISM Raceway, a track with really no extra hype, really no extra build-up, no extra storylines, the fact that that race sees a 4% overnight increase in TV ratings and TV viewership, that's very significant to me. That shows that maybe NASCAR doesn't have to fully rely on the aero package gimmick to bring in new fans. Maybe NASCAR's just kind of on the come up because people have, gotten over that break year of no Dale Earnhardt Jr., and maybe people are starting to find new drivers to root for. That would be my guess if I had to make one. But either way, as you can see here from Adam Stern, good news for NASCAR. Now, I do believe that NASCAR's streak of being the highest rated event of each weekend, I think that it was broken this week. I believe I saw a tweet that the UNC Duke college basketball game on ESPN had a slightly higher TV rating than NASCAR, so that's to be expected. It's the two best college football, or not, I don't think they're the best, but two of the top college basketball teams. Ancient rivalry, super hyped up. To lose to that on ESPN, okay, it is what it is. Still, 3 of the first 4 weekends of the NASCAR Cup Series season, we've seen the Cup Series on top of the TV ratings world. And even this week, they finished a close second. So NASCAR Cup Series, I don't want to say they're making a comeback, but like I've been saying for a few weeks now, I think they've kind of leveled off. And if things go their way over the next couple of years, we could see a slight increase again. That would be really good to see, and right now we're on pace to do it. But now I want to talk about the main focus of today's episode. Do you guys remember tandem drafting at Daytona and Talladega, those restrictor plate tracks, the super speedways? Do you guys remember 2010, 2011, 2009 a little bit as well? Tandem racing? Two-car tandem. You remember that? If you only just recently became a fan of NASCAR, you might be surprised to look at these clips from racing at Talladega. This was in 2011, the year where the two-car tandem reigned supreme at the restrictor plate super speedway tracks of Talladega and Daytona. That kind of racing was really common. You still had a little bit of the pack racing look we have today, but more often than not, you had two cars working together, just basically bump drafting each other all around for lap after lap after lap, dozens of laps at a time without worrying about overheating, without really worrying about handling too much or tires. That's what you would do, and you would see just sets of cars driving all around the track like that. The two-car tandem was kind of a polarizing form of racing in NASCAR. Some fans kind of liked it. It was weird, it was kind of odd, but it was fun to see teammates work together. And one cool addition for those races is that NASCAR gave drivers a dial, where they didn't just have to talk to only their crew chief or spotter. Drivers could dial up other drivers during the race and talk to them over the radio. So you could have like Jeff Gordon, while they're running, he's drafting with Dale Jr., he could dial up and call Dale Earnhardt Jr. They could talk to each other during the race, and we could hear it on TV. And it was honestly really cool for the fans to hear kind of strategy be talked about, by different drivers. But then again, a lot of other fans didn't like it too much because it was an even more artificial version of restrictor plate racing, where, the knock against restrictor plate or against super speedway racing these days is that you really can't pass anyone unless you get a draft help, a drafting push from another car. The two-car tandem took that to the extreme. You couldn't do anything by yourself. You were fully reliant on another car to help push you or for you to push. So a lot of fans didn't like it for that reason. There's pros and cons to two-car tandem. Nobody can deny it was a very interesting form of stock car racing. So why do I bring up two-car tandem? Really, we haven't seen it since 2011. Yeah, the package in 2012 saw a little bit of two-car tandem from time to time, but really since 2011 we haven't seen the two-car tandem. So why are we bringing it up here today? Late last night I was perusing around Twitter and I came across this tweet from NASCAR Reddit. I occasionally will venture over to NASCAR Reddit. They get some good reports, some interesting behind-the-scenes rumors and stuff over there. This one was talking about how Brad Keselowski said on a Facebook Live video that he thinks we could see the two-car tandem return this year at Talladega. Here's the clip from Brad Keselowski talking. This was after the race yesterday at ISM. This was yesterday evening.
What will the new rules at Talladega and Daytona do to the racing? We've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks. I think we're going to see the tandem come back at Daytona and Talladega. So if you like the tandem, you're in for good things. But that's just my gut. I could be completely wrong.
So there you have it. Brad Keselowski, always one of the more outspoken drivers. I appreciate him kind of sharing these thoughts with the fans. That's kind of an interesting little detail, interesting insight there. Could we see tandem racing return? I'm not sure. Now remember that we still have 3 races left this year in the Cup Series at super speedway tracks. We have 2 Talladega races left and still 1 more Daytona race. Now it's worth noting that all 3 of those races are not going to see the use of restrictor plates. This is going to be the first time in years that restrictor plates have not been used at the super speedway tracks. But have no fear, the cars aren't going to be going 230 miles an hour or anything. You know, with the lower horsepower rules, with the larger tapered spacer, most people expect them to still kind of act like restrictor plates. The tapered spacer in a lot of ways still does what a restrictor plate does. It can just be kind of molded to different shapes as needed. With the lower horsepower rules and the tapered spacer, most people expect Daytona and Talladega to still basically work like Daytona and Talladega. But with things like the larger rear spoiler especially, maybe Brad Keselowski has a point. He says that, you know, he and his team or whoever has been talking about this for a couple weeks. Maybe there is a good chance we will see some form of tandem racing return to the restrictor plate or to the super speedway tracks this year. I'm no aerodynamic engineer, so I can't really say how this new package is going to affect the racing at super speedway tracks. I really can't say. We've already seen how it's kind of tough to predict this new package. I think Las Vegas didn't quite go as a lot of people expected. Atlanta either. So I feel like this new package is still pretty much up in the air. Not really sure what we can expect week to week. I'm really excited to see what we'll see at Auto Club in a few days. That's going to be a wild one in my opinion, but I'll be excited to see it. As far as Daytona and Talladega is concerned, let me know in the comments. Do you guys want to see a 2-car tandem return for this year? Or do you guys say, no, leave that in the past and keep with what we got now? I'd be curious to hear what you guys think down in the comments. What would you like to see? One other interesting detail from that Facebook Live video, I didn't see it live, but I went back and watched the recording of it. Brad Keselowski also was asked about like dirt racing in the Cup Series. Would that ever happen? And here's what he said in response to that.
Will ever see a dirt racing cup? No, sir. Never again. And the reason for that is I don't think there are any dirt venues that can handle a cup race. I think, you know, we do it at Eldora with the trucks, and that's about all they can kind of handle. And honestly, I don't feel like NASCAR's vehicles are very good on dirt to watch. So I don't think they'll ever do it. So that's my 2 thoughts, but I might be wrong.
Kind of interesting, kind of unrelated to what we were just now talking about, but I know with all the talk about new schedule changes going forward, could Eldora maybe get a Cup Series race, you know, things like that. It doesn't sound like Brad Keselowski is too optimistic about the idea of the NASCAR Cup Series going to dirt tracks anytime soon. And I kind of understand what he's saying there. I've heard the argument before that the trucks, the only reason they work there is just because of the way they're built. The Cup Series cars would not run dirt nearly as well as the trucks are set up to. But he also does have a point. You know, the Truck Series race at Eldora, you know, in the summer is entertaining. It's definitely fun, but I definitely don't think, you know, NASCAR is best suited for dirt. Like, you know, you look at like the sprint cars, you look at USAC music cars, like all that type of stuff. When you see them on dirt, you're like, whoa, this is a show. When you see stock cars, or in this case, you know, stock trucks, you know, the NASCAR Truck Series over there on dirt, it's neat, it's different, it's unique, but is it actually great racing? That's debatable. I'm kind of with Brad Keselowski on this one. I mean, it would be cool to see maybe like an exhibition race at Eldora, put some like 10 or 15 Cup drivers on the dirt track and just see what happens. That might be pretty fun. But the idea of, you know, the Cup Series actually going to a dirt track, for one, very few dirt tracks in this country could hold a NASCAR Cup Series crowd. So that's an issue, a logistic issue for one. But then, yeah, I don't see it happening anytime in the near future. I'm not sure that it would ever happen. It might be interesting to see. It'd be a fun experiment, but I think like Brad Keselowski says there, it's probably not too realistic. But I thought that was interesting. Brad Keselowski, I like him. I like that he's not afraid to speak about whatever. This isn't. We're not talking about controversial stuff here. The aero package at Talladega is not that controversial. Dirt racing in NASCAR is not that controversial. But I just like that he's willing to share his thoughts on that. It feels like a lot of other drivers are really kind of a closed book when it comes to a lot of this type of stuff. So I appreciate guys like Brad Keselowski giving the fans something to talk about, giving the fans kind of teaching the fans something, helping us learn. So kudos to Brad for taking the time to answer some fan questions right there. That's all I got for today's episode. Like I said, a pretty quick one. Just thought those might be some interesting rumors to talk about. And like I said, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know about the tandem drafting stuff. Let me know about dirt racing stuff if you want to see the Cup Series on dirt anytime, and all that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Links to those are down in the description. Also down there, you can find the address to my P.O. box if you want to send me some cool NASCAR stuff. I'll show it off and shout you out in an upcoming video. Also, you can get Out of the Groove t-shirts down there if you want to support me, support the show, represent. Check those out down there as well. I appreciate it. Also, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters: Michael Harrison at GWiz of the Stars, Mentally Defective, SelfishGifts.com, Cameron James, John Koblenz, Tim Shingen, Jason R. Long, Wesley Donaldson, Isaac Dennison, Mika Suzuki, iFantasyRace.com, Adam Lean, and the rest of these amazing Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this show. Got some pretty interesting things in the work. I'm going to be going to a couple different racetracks actually in the next few weeks, so I'll keep you guys posted where you guys might be able to find me. I'm excited to go experience some new, unique types of racing in person, share it with you guys, and a lot of that is thanks to the support I get from you all on Patreon, so thank you for the support. I can tell you guys that I will be at the IndyCar race in about 2 weeks, week and a half, at Circuit of the Americas. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. It's my first ever IndyCar race that I've ever been to, so I'm excited to check it out. I plan on filming a little bit. If you see me, come say hi. It's also the first ever IndyCar race at Circuit of the Americas, so kind of a historic thing there. Hopefully it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to an IndyCar race, so we'll see what it's all about, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of my experience with you guys. So yeah, look forward to that, I guess. I can also say I don't know my full schedule yet, but I am also planning to be at the Texas Motor Speedway race weekend here in 3 weeks at the end of March. I'm planning to be there all 3 days, but I haven't figured out a full schedule yet, so I'll let you guys know where I'll be and what I'll be doing there. So if you're also at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR races there in a few weeks, also come say hi. Look forward to seeing y'all. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, I got some exciting things coming out soon. So thanks everyone for the support. See you guys again very, very soon.